Hey y'all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be testing out the new Auric Mirage Shift Cheek Palette in 2 different shades. So here's what happened. When the product launched on the website, there was like a little bit of a snafu, a little bit of technical difficulties for about 30 minutes. But I was so frenzied for this cheek palette that I clicked way too fast and I got the wrong shade. So the shade I originally intended to get was Daybreak, which is the most fair shade. But the shade I actually ordered was High Noon, which is the medium shade. And when that came in, I immediately posted something and I was just like, what have I done? But a bunch of people messaged me and they said, you should still try that palette. We think it might work on you. And I was like, yeah, you know what? It probably would, but I wanted the other one too. So I ordered the other one too. I'm going to test out one on one side, one on the other. I also did order the mixing palette and the palette knife, so we'll be using that. We're going to talk all about these products, try it on, and we'll see which one you guys think looks better. I will say I'm usually considered to be like a light neutral skin tone. I am not the fairest of the fair. I am also not usually considered to be like medium, definitely not deep skin tone, so I can show you what it looks like on me. You can decide what's best for you. I did decide to keep this all in the family though today, and I am wearing the Smoke Reflect in Defiance on my eyes. And my lips have been so chapped because in Baltimore, for some reason, we have not had rain for like a month and a half. Don't get me wrong, I'm greatly enjoying the sunshine, but it is so dry. So I am going to use my Plush Ritual, which is my favorite lip mask in the world. I was going to say from them, but in the world. So it does come in this little pot. The shade I have, I think it's Bear. I'm not sure if there are other shades, but this is kind of a nude on me, and it comes with like a little jade spatula. And I just love to put this on and let this sit, especially while I'm doing my makeup, and just let it soak in. But honestly, I love that it gives the lips like a really subtle tint and it makes them feel really soft. So I'm just going to leave this on. This will probably be my lip today overall. But let's go ahead and get into this. First, I'm going to unpackage the mixing palette. Look how beautiful this is. So did I need this? No, I did not. I do have a mixing palette that cost me approximately $1 that I got 20 years ago, and it works fine, but this felt so classy. It definitely has some more weight to it. Hold on. This is the one that I've probably been using for like 20 years, and shockingly, it is clean. This is just as clean as I can get it now, and it's covered in scratches and dings and dents. So I don't know, I just wanted to treat myself. So it is gold on one side. The other side is kind of a brushed silver, so you can see the color more evenly. And then the palette knife is really beautiful. I actually do not have one of these, so I'm happy to have one of these. And the fact that it's like gold and I don't know, I feel a little bougie. First, just to talk about the packaging a little bit, the packaging is the same for both colors. Really beautiful. Honestly, I save all Auric packaging because I feel like it's beautiful. I don't know if I'll save the palette, the mixing palette packaging, but this is so gorgeous. I will save this. And it is worth noting that on top, I believe they have, let me see if I can show you. I turned the brightness all the way down, so I hope you can see, but I do believe this is Braille on the top. So if you're somebody like me who keeps your stuff in its packaging, it's nice that this is here so that it can be easily felt. Now, these palettes were sort of designed to stand the test of time. Did I open the wrong side? You betcha yourself I did. Now, the idea of these palettes was meant to sort of stand the test of time, to bulk against trends, to be a little bit more timeless. Oh, it is a little difficult to get out of the box. And it's just supposed to last, and you're supposed to be able to kind of mix it to whatever you want that day. So on the front, there is this sort of textured vibe. This is heavy. This feels luxe. This feels very luxe. But anyway, you have the Auric logo. On the back, you do have these 4 little pinholes. And here's the thing. I have no idea where this little tool came from, okay? I've had this thing for years. This is meant, and you can use anything. You can use a paper clip or whatever. You can press out each individual palette because they say that eventually they will have refills, so you don't have to buy a new palette should you just run out of the bronze or anything. But again, this is the palette in Daybreak. So this is the most fair palette, and we do have a bronzer, a blush, a highlight, and a balm. The balm is the same color in all of them, and the name of the color is just Dew Balm. This is Dew Balm, and it's the same. So you can mix this in with anything to give it more of a luminosity, more of a balmy feeling. And honestly, as somebody who has normal to mostly dry skin, I appreciate anything that gives me more luminosity, anything that gives me more dewiness. So this is Daybreak, and this one is High Noon. So this is the medium one, and this is the fair one. So you can definitely see the difference. You can see the difference, especially in that blush and bronzer color. Actually, even in the highlighter, the one High Noon definitely has a little bit of a deeper highlighter. But the Dew Balm is exactly the same in both. And we're gonna be trying one on one cheek and one on the other. Something else I also really appreciate is this. Do you guys remember Leisha X Sparkit? She used to say that a lot of palettes need palette Viagra because they would just go with the mirror. This stays up. It is weighted at the bottom. So anyway, just really beautiful. But let's go ahead and get started. So I already have on my foundation, which is just a tinted moisturizer. I have on concealer, and I have on powder only under my eyes and around my nose. That is the only places I usually put on powder. So let's go ahead and start with the bronzer. This side will be Daybreak, and this side will be High Noon. So with Daybreak, first I'm gonna go into the bronzer. I'm using the Sigma F11 Soft Sculpt brush to see how it applies with a brush. I mean, sometimes I could even see myself applying this with my fingers. I'm gonna start small and I can always build up, but I'm gonna apply this like I would normally apply my bronzer, which I like kind of a bronzer. I do like a contour bronzer situation. Let's see how this color looks. So this is the look of Daybreak. It is a very light bronzer, but I do feel like it looks very natural on me. I think it's a nice color. It's definitely not pulling too orangey or anything like that. I think that's very, very pretty. I actually do really like that. That's very nice. It feels very good on the skin. Very good. And I could mix the Dew Balm in there, but I'm going to choose to wait on that until I do my blush. But let's start with that. And what I'm going to do is in between each step, I'm going to completely clean these off on my Sigma switch because I want to use the same brush in each palette. Like, so this will be my bronzer brush for the other, but I'm just taking off all of the excess product. Next, the blush. Oh, this is going to drive me a little bit crazy, but I want to try it sort of like it's intended. So you are supposed to, or you can choose to, scoop out a little bit of the blush and a little bit of the Dew Balm and mix them on your mixing palette to make a more luminous blush. And I really want to try it. So, scraping the product is going to drive me a little bit crazy, but it's okay. Let's try this. I'm going to start very small because I am only doing one cheek with this. So I'm going to put this on my palette up there, and I'm going to wipe off the knife because I don't want to get the blush in the Dew Balm just in case. And then I'm going to scrape off. Ooh, that scraped off a lot more quickly than I was expecting. So this is a balmy situation. So let's go ahead and mix those. So this makes me happy. I was a little bit worried with how much Dew Balm I just put in that it would completely take the color away out of the blush. You can definitely still see that as a pinky tone. So I'm going to take my Luxie 522 and I'm going to start small, and I can always build up because I made a lot of blush. And I'm going to dab this on the cheeks. Okay, I'm going to build it up a little. This is very pretty. So this is a very, very light pink flush on me, okay? A very light pink flush when mixed with the Dew Balm. But the Dew Balm, as you can tell, so look, it didn't change the color of the blush at all. It just added more of a balmy texture to it. This looks so pretty, and it looks very, very natural, this color. Very natural. Now, is there any stickiness? I wouldn't say stickiness. It does feel a little bit more like a balm, but it doesn't feel like a face gloss or anything like that. But there is definitely, it's just very pretty. It's very, very natural looking. I hope you're able to tell. But now I want to go into, where is my highlighter brush? There we go. I'm taking the Moda BMX 265 Glow, and I'm going to go into the highlight. And in this palette, it's called Ghost Flower. By the way, the blush in this is called Thistle Bloom, and then this is Cactus Wood. Also, I just put in some new Invisalign trays, so please forgive me if I am lisping Lisa right now.
Lisping Lisa?
That was my nickname in school.
I'm grabbing some of the highlight on this brush, and I'm going to start small just to see how this looks. If you all know me, you know I like a blinding highlight, so I'm going to start small and see how much we can build this up. That is so... Look how natural this all looks. This borderline looks like I'm not wearing makeup. It just looks like I'm flushed. I mean, I'm obviously wearing a thick black eyeliner, but you know what I mean? Like, that just looks, my skin looks beautiful right now. Let me see if this builds up at all. I'm going to kind of load up the brush with this highlighter. Oh yeah, look at that. Ooh, she builds up. But it still is melting into the skin nicely and does not feel any kind of way. Like, it doesn't feel too tacky, and it doesn't look powdery or fake. It's not accentuating anything. Wow. Okay, so this is the side with Daybreak. I feel like I want to add a little more blush. I feel like I want to add like a little more. Ooh, yep, you can see it. Now again, the tackiness, I don't know if that's going to set down completely since this is a balm, but it doesn't feel like it's too tacky. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel obnoxious. It almost feels like when I put my sunblock on, to be honest. But this is the side with Daybreak. You can obviously take the luminosity down. You don't have to use the Dew Balm with everything, but this is Daybreak, which I think is beautiful. Let's go ahead and move on to High Noon. I'm going to wipe my palette off. What's nice is that looks like it kind of wiped off. I mean, obviously you see a little smudginess, but it wiped off nicer than my other one does. I mean, do you need an expensive mixing palette? You absolutely do not. This was a complete splurge for me. So anyway, we're gonna try High Noon on this side. So first, going back into this same brush, I'm going to be dipping into the bronzer, which is called Foxtail on this side. And I'm going to be applying that in the same way. So I sort of start it almost as a contour. This one definitely leans warmer than this one, I will say. This one, like, I wouldn't call it orange by any means, but I'm saying like, I feel like it definitely does lean a bit warmer. But I still feel like it's looking quite natural. Even on my skin tone, I feel like that looks nice and natural. I enjoy that. Okay. Good. So that's probably, I don't know. Let's see if we can add some more. Let's add a bit more. Which one do I like? I might like this bronzer better on me. I feel like this one's a little bit deeper. Of course it is a little bit deeper. I feel like it's a little bit more in line with my skin tone, but I don't know. So for the blush, I'm going to do the same thing I did before. The blush is Sand Blush, and I'm going to mix a little bit of Dew Beam. I'm going to try to keep it exactly how I did it last time. I'm going to take a little less though, because I don't want to waste it like I did with the other one. So that's like maybe half of a pencil eraser, that size. I'm going to take less Dew Beam than I did. Oop, I took a lot still. So you can see the two there, and I will mix them. I have to admit, I'm not somebody who usually mixes my face products like this. It's kind of fun. I don't know what it is. It's kind of fun, and I kind of like that you can customize it to make it your own. Maybe you want less of a Dew Beam that time. So I don't know. I kind of dig that. But here's what we're looking at. I like this color a lot. This is sort of like a borderline terracotta. I forgot for a minute what side I was doing. We're doing this side. But I'm going to take also, so this is, I have two of this brush, which is why I don't need to use the same one. Luxie 522 again. And we're going to, again, start kind of small. This is definitely more pigmented than the other side. And yeah, you can see it immediately. So let's see what this looks like. This one is definitely more pigmented, so I'm actually going to take off the excess here and blend this out before adding any more product. I will say these blend beautifully, so it's not feeling patchy in any way, and it's just so pretty. Ooh, okay, I'm going to take a little bit more. As confirmed, also, these do build up nicely. Gorgeous. So this one is definitely more noticeable. I feel like this one looks like, I don't know, I could trick you and say I'm not wearing makeup. This side, I feel like you can tell I'm wearing makeup, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I am going to take this blush color and put it a little bit on the bridge of my nose because I feel like this one looks like you've been out in the sun a bit. You see what I mean? I don't know. I kind of like it. I feel like it looks very healthy. I want to keep building this up. Again, using a microfiber cloth, I want to show you, can I show you out that it did clean up very nicely. There's not really, there you go. There's not a ton of smudging or thumbprints or fingerprints or anything. I'm going to take the same highlighter brush, get off all of the excess. By the way, if you don't have a Sigma switch in your life, you need to have one of these. This is so great for just taking off excess product quickly. And now I'm going into the highlighter, which is called Sun Soak. And again, I'm going to start small and see how much we can build this up. That is very, very, very pretty. Again, a very natural looking highlight. Like it doesn't look at all aggressive or anything like that. It's just very pretty. Also, I will say, because these products are all a similar consistency to each other, they are layering perfectly. They're blending together perfectly. Like I have no issues with that. I will say, yeah, the tackiness does not go all the way down. So I have a feeling that's just the Dew Balm. So just kind of keep that in mind. But here we are. So we have Daybreak which is the lightest shade on this side. And we have High Noon, which is the deeper shade on this side. What do we think? Let's look. You know what, guys? I am happy to have both. Genuinely happy to have both because I think that I will use both of these. I am amazed at Daybreak and how incredibly natural it looks on me. I feel like this, again, looks like my skin is just luminous and I'm not wearing makeup. I do feel like this side looks more like I'm wearing makeup, but not in a bad way at all. Like, I feel like it just looks so smooth on my face. I feel like my skin looks beautiful and luminous and it feels so good on the skin. This is how I like my skin to look. This is really how I like my skin to look. I am going to be using both of these, but that being said, this is an $88 palette, okay? I do realize that it is not feasible for people to have both, which is why I wanted to show you both so you could maybe better decide which one is good for you. So let me know in the comments down below, which one do you think looks better on me and which one do you think would be better on you? Obviously, I do not have the third palette, the deepest palette. I can only show you these two, but I hope that this was able to help some of you out. Not gonna lie, this helped me out because I threw up in my mouth a little bit at, you know, the idea of having two of them, but I'm happy to have both of them. So anyway, that's it. If you like this video, if this helped you at all, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I do put out lots of good cruelty-free makeup content here on YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are all Glitter Fallout. And as always and forever, you are super freaking rock stars. And I love you so much with my whole heart. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.